Hey everybody! Today we're going to make another one of my favorite foods in the whole wide world. We're going to make candy apples. And I went to the grocery store and picked out some apples. And you know what? You have to be careful at the grocery store because sometimes you get apples that don't have a flat bottom and they won't stand up straight. Remember, wash and dry your apples carefully. You want to get these prepared before you start working with your sugar. I cannot find my popsicle sticks, but I have these lollipop sticks from another project, and I'm going to use those for today. So just go ahead and put your sticks in to your apples, and you want it to fight you. Getting in there. That way it won't come off when folks are eating it. And that's all you do for this part. The next segment I'm going to show you is how to go ahead and melt your sugar and caramel, have your candy coating ready. Oh, these are tough. Okay, and here we are. We're going to start with our saucepan to make our candy apples. And I'm going to make a pretty big batch, so you need 2 cups of water and 4 cups of sugar. Okay, so I've got my 2 cups of water, and I'm going to pour in my 4 cups of sugar. And you need to really stir this up well. You're going to need a candy thermometer. That is a must, because you have to get this sugar and water mixture up to about 300 degrees, and it's worth the investment to get a really good candy thermometer. And you can just stick it in there as your sugar water mixture starts to boil. Now, I usually do a really good job of burning up a pot especially when I'm making candy apples. And this is my good pot that I'm using today, so I'm going to make sure that I do not burn up my pot today. Keep that in mind when you're making candy apples. You run the risk of losing one of your good pots. Oh, and by the way, with candy apples, this is very, very hot and very, very dangerous. So you might want to have, if you have kids working with you, step out of the kitchen until you get this all ready to go. And be careful yourself. I have burned myself many a times with candy apples. As you can see, we've got everything in our pot. We've got our sugar, our water, our little red cinnamon red hot candies, which will dissolve, and that'll give you your red coloring and a little bit of that cinnamony flavor, that candy apple flavor. So I'm just going to stir to make sure everything gets melted. And I'm going to put in the candy thermometer. Just going to clip that on and wait for it to boil. And remember, this is going to be a hot candy mixture. What you're waiting for is the sugar to boil and get to the point where all the water evaporates out of it. And it needs to get to at least a 310 degrees on your candy thermometer. So it's going to take a little while, so just be patient, and your patience is really going to pay off. And you can have your pan up on a medium-high heat. Making it really hot or turning up the highest heat possible isn't going to do anything. You really got to wait for the sugar to do what it's naturally going to do when you're cooking it. And you can see it's starting to boil a little bit. As you can see, it's boiling, and it's got that pretty red color to it for your caramel candy apples. Some of the red hot candies still haven't quite melted, even at close to 250 degrees. according to the candy thermometer, but they will melt. And what we're trying to do, remember, is you need to get to that 310 degree hard crack candy stage. Okay, now we're at about the 250 degree stage, and you can see it's real syrupy. This is so hot. You have to be really, really careful in your kitchen with this. Once it surpasses 250 degrees, it's going to really start to shoot up to that 310 degree hard crack candy stage that you need to get it to. If you tried to do anything with dip your candy apples in now, it's not going to set, and you're just going to have a gooey, ooey mess. So once again, and I just burned my hand, dripped some hot candy on me. So you just have to be real, real careful with this at this stage. Okay, here we go. Here comes the fun part. Okay, my temperature has reached 310 degrees, so I'm going to turn it off, because otherwise what will happen is your sugar will start to burn. So I'm just going to tilt my pan at an angle and just swirl the candy apple around in there, as you can see. And this is another reason why we use 4 cups of sugar. Let me get a little closer here. So it would be deep enough that these apples could fit in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to set it on the wax paper. And I'm going to get my next apple. Make sure you're seeing this. Get my next apple, and I'm going to twirl it in. Remember, this is so blazingly, unbelievably hot. It will burn your skin. I can't tell you how many times I have burnt my fingers making candy apples. But this is truly a labor of love. And as you can see, I'm trying to make sure I get the candy coating all over my apples. Isn't that beautiful? I'm using lollipop sticks today instead of popsicle sticks because I ran out of popsicle sticks. Gonna set that there. And this is just remarkably fun and easy. I'm gonna put the recipe for you in the bottom down below so you can see. And you just want to drip off the excess. Now, unfortunately for me, I made such a huge batch of this today. And I only have 5 apples. I should have actually had more than 5 apples. But as you can see, we're dipping and twirling. I'm going to set that there 1 second. Actually, bring it over so you can see. You're dipping and twirling your apple into this hot sugar. Oh, please don't let me get this on my skin and burn myself. And you just want to let the excess drip off. And then just set your apple down on wax paper. And that's all there is to it. And you let those set. I'm using wax paper today, but in the past I have actually used saran wrap or a plate with butter on it so that they'll pop right off. And as you can see, I'm going to set this aside, the pan aside, but since I'm not going to use any more of this today, I'm going to go ahead and soak my pan so that candy doesn't stick. And as you can see, after a few minutes, they'll come right off of your wax paper. I had a little bit of butter on that wax paper, and I should just let them dry. Oh, and these pieces are so delicious. Now, once again, remember, this is really hot, but I hope you enjoyed making candy apples with me today. And stay tuned. I'm going to have lots more videos for you guys in the near future. And have a great day.